Welcome to the ninth episode of the Beat Town podcast. Here today, I have a rather special guest. It's going to be a lot interesting. Oh, what the hell am I doing, dude? It's going to be rather interesting to say the least. Let me introduce you all to the one and only Spazza17. Spazza, how you doing, dude?
Oh my god, what?
What?
Fuss?
What? Fast.
Hello,
It's
hello, hello. How are you?
it's the pro Osu player, totally not watched old man.
What? I
with,
don't even know what that game is.
with a job, a trigger warning job. No way.
I'm so sorry, everybody. No trigger warning there. Thanks for having me on, Stu. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for accepting the invite. Took a bit longer than usual because of my side of things. This episode should have been streamed last week, but something happened. So yeah,
It's all good.
simply got busy. Sorry for that again. But we are here, alive and alive to say the least. We got a bunch of questions that we're going to ask Spazza for today's episode. Basically, it's just going to
Yes,
be a
man.
typical casual, chill interview. Sit back, relax, grab your popcorn, and let's dive into this. So, first things first, how are you doing, Spazza? How has it been so far these past few days?
Oh man, it's very, very hot over here in Italy. I don't know how the weather is over there, but
Oh,
we've had an
same.
average of like 36 degrees bare minimum,
Yeah,
very humid.
yeah, same here. To be fair, like the maximum I've seen the temperature go is like I don't know, like 41 degrees or some shit like that. But on average, it's like 35, 36 as well. So really hot here as well.
Yeah, man, it's very hot, but I mean that you gotta expect that the Italian summer, we are in the midst of it now, so it's to be expected really.
Yeah,
But luckily my AC is on this time around,
good thing.
so at least
Good.
it's a tiny bit bearable, you know, otherwise I'd be sweating right now.
Sweating balls, to say the least. At least
Yes.
in clutch, the air conditioner will save you. That's really good though.
Yeah,
So
man.
yeah, so yeah, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. But now, since we know that, let's start off with the questions and let's just go over to the first question. So, how was life before OSU? So, what were you doing before you got into the game?
Oh wow, man. I mean, that's a deep cut. We're talking more than 10 years ago at this point because
Yeah.
believe it or not, I made my OSU account in 2014. Actually, oh what? It's 2013 that I made my OSU account.
Holy, that's a wild ass time ago, to say the least.
That's 12 years ago, but to be completely fair, I made my account and I didn't really play. At the time I was just playing multi lobbies once in a while. I think it's fair to say I officially started playing for real towards the end of 2014
Huh.
and start of 2015. So yeah, let's just say that. But not nevertheless, 10 years ago. I remember I was. Oh man, I mean, I was really into Team Fortress 2. That was my
Team
one
Fortress 2.
game.
Who's your main?
Yeah,
Who's your main in that game, if you remember?
Spy and Sniper.
Sheesh. Nice. That's an interesting combo, to say the least. But it goes together, though. It goes together.
It's good stuff, man. It's the
Yeah.
best. But you learn to play every class after you got
Yeah.
more than 2,000 hours. But
I mean, yeah. Holy, 2,000 hours? Broken up with
yeah,
pro. Broken up with pro, dude. Damn.
I mean, to be fair, I did play a bunch of pro matches. Like I used to play Highlander,
Oh, damn.
but I didn't really go anywhere with that. So like it doesn't matter too much. But I have this thing where I don't really play that many games. I only really uh,
You focus on,
get
like,
obsessed with one.
yeah, one or two maybe at max.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so in that case, I was really into TF2. Then obviously also came into my life, and we know the rest. But other than that, I was already video editing things, and I
Yeah.
really enjoyed making those YouTube poops. I don't know if you're familiar with those, but
Yeah. I did check your channel out, like the old videos, and you did start off with that, but we'll get into that. slowly but
Okay,
surely, if you know. So,
that's cool. That's cool.
but what I wanted to ask is, how did you find out about the game in general? Like, how did you find out about OSU? What was your first introduction to the game?
So unfortunately, I can't really recall with 100% accuracy because it has been a very long time, but I didn't find out about Osu through, for example, wanting to improve my aim on TF2. That was not a thing.
Yeah.
But I believe one of the very first videos that popped up for me was Cookies' score on Freedom Dive,
Huh. So
which
it's.
it's the one Nomad FC with a single 100.
Oh, damn.
And I remember that I don't even, honestly, it's been such a long time. I don't even remember if back then there were YouTube recommendations. Or maybe it was a related video to something else I was watching, but either way, I checked that video out and I was very intrigued by the whole ordeal because I just saw all those colorful circles, the old Cookies skin,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I thought it was super impressive. I didn't really get what was happening, but that was my very first introduction to the game, and then I think I found out about Azer.
Oh, Azer. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, sometime later, and I wasn't even understanding. Like, I thought it was a different game because it was a different skin and he was
Bruh.
playing hidden, so I didn't really understand much of anything, but eventually I just installed the game.
Yeah, so it just looked interesting from like those videos that you checked briefly, and you just decided to find what the game is and install it. So basically,
Yeah, pretty much.
curiosity got the best of you and got you hooked to the game, maybe. Not at first, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was familiar with rhythm games. I used to play Guitar Hero on my PlayStation 2. Oh boy.
Oh damn. Okay.
Some people even call that retro console nowadays, but we don't get to that.
Oh my god, man! Fucking the 2000s era. I mean, it is kind of retro, slowly but surely, though. I mean,
Yeah.
then again, it's been like how many years? Like 25 years since the release. So
I think so, man. I think so. It's kind of crazy to look back on, but I used to play that, and then I played a bit of Virtual Scroll stuff like Step Mania, a tiny bit of O2 Jam.
Okay,
But
interesting.
I was never particularly good at those games, so luckily also seemed a bit easier to learn, I'd say, compared to very high level jackads.
I don't know, for me, for
games.
example, I didn't really have like any experience with rhythm games except for Geometry Dash, but that isn't really a rhythm game. You already know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's rhythm based, but still, also like it was also my first like introduction to rhythm games. But anyways, what were some of the first maps you remember playing when you started playing the game? Were they just the default maps or something else maybe?
So this is an interesting story. When I first got the game, obviously I got the default bitmaps, My Love, and
Yeah.
all of those.
Dude.
And I played through all of those, and then I thought it would be cool to download a bunch of maps of songs that I knew. But the issue is, and again, I don't know exactly what was going on at the time. I think maybe I just didn't understand how the website worked, or maybe my internet was acting up. But I tried downloading a bitmap, which I think was a TV size map, and for some reason I couldn't do it.
Oh my
So
god.
what I did was I went to the bitmap category where there were bitmap packs, and I saw that they were numbered, so I assumed I would have to unlock songs. So I just downloaded the first 10 bitmap packs, which are all 2008, 2009 maps.
Oh damn.
So, I mean, in retrospect, it's kind of cool because I accidentally built up a good base for my reading. So that was pretty cool. But in my very first few maps, I'd say is very popular stuff that was on the internet at the time. Like even the TF2 main theme song, Caramel Dancen.
Damn.
like old, very old weeb stuff.
Really,
In
really old. Like really old.
In particular, Caramel Dancing is one that I remember fondly. In fact, if you go to my profile right now, I believe it's in my top 15 most played maps ever.
Let me check. Let's verify that real quick. So, Spazza17, the Osu profile right here, and let's check. What did you say was the name of the map again?
Caramel Dancing.
Caramel Dance. Here it is. Yeah, 204 times played. It is within like. So it's your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Your 10th most played map.
Yeah, and can you check what year it's from?
Yeah, let's see. So it's from 2008. Wow, some
There
Osu,
you go. There you go.
some Osu players weren't even born when this map was made, dude. Jesus.
Most of them nowadays, I'd say.
Yeah, absolutely wild, to say the least. But yeah, that's actually really cool though. The fact that you, instead of like downloading maps separately on your own, you just downloaded packs. Rather unique to say the least compared to like other people, you know, and how they start playing the game. You know, just
Yeah,
downloading.
I don't think anybody even knows about bitmap packs nowadays.
Yeah, it's like a. I mean, if you think about it, it is kind of hidden from like the rest of the stuff in it, if you know what I mean. Like the rest of the stuff in the game.
They are still available, but nobody. I don't think many people still use them. But funnily enough, they are actually updated. Like if you go right now on the Bitmap Packs website, the last one is literally from today. So
yeah,
there's only one person taking care of those. So shout out to them.
Yep, shout out to them for still taking care of that pretty much. But yeah, do you still enjoy playing the game to this day, by the way?
Well, I don't really play the game all that much. It's kind of an interesting question. I think it really depends because my main problem is in order to enjoy the game, I like to play at a high level. And in order to maintain my skills, I have to play more often. I'm not one of those players who can just stop playing for months and then come back and be just as good. I think there are very few players like that. So
yeah, true. You still need
it's
to
one
maintain.
of those things. Yeah, it's one of those things where I would like to say yes, I enjoy doing it, but every time I stop, which is very often, I have to rebuild everything from scratch, and it's very annoying. Yeah. I would like to actually just get back into it and play every day, and obviously gain more ranks, etc. But yeah, like I don't know. Recently, I've been playing because throughout the years I've played other games too. For example, I did an entire year of Taiko, which was very enjoyable. Recently, I've been very into Beat Saber. And those games are legit so fun and so enjoyable, and I can't get that same enjoyment out of Osu nowadays unless I'm good. That's the thing, I think.
Have you gotten a VR setup, by the way, for Beat Saber as of recent, or what?
Yeah, very recently. I think about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I actually got a VR.
Nice. That's actually interesting.
Specifically for Beat Saber.
Specifically for Beat Saber as well. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting take on if you still enjoy the game though. So you basically don't want to deal with the de-rusting. So in order for you to enjoy the game, you still have to maintain your skill, basically.
Yeah. I'm trying to get back into it. Maybe we can talk about that later, but there has been a bunch of little things getting in the way of me wanting to actually play. So slowly but surely I'm getting rid of those. So if everything goes well, I can try to make a push and actually try and play the game consistently again and see what happens,
Yeah, we'll probably get back into this topic with some of the questions, but we'll see. So other than that, do you have what the hell? Nah, hold up, a wrong question.
Okay.
So, what is the origin behind your profile picture? Like the one that you're currently using for Discord, for example. Some people still don't know So it might be an interesting story for them. But yeah,
Oh, you mean the bird?
yeah, the bird basically, not the your face. Like what the hell would be the original
Yeah, no.
fake face? No way. Guy got burnt, born. He makes profile picture of his face. Crazy.
It is what it is. Yeah, no, that one is not very exciting, but
Yeah, the
yeah.
bird one.
So I've used that bird for a very, very long time to the point where I feel like many people, especially people who know me for a very long time, they still associate me to that picture.
Yeah.
And I've come to realize that okay, it's cool, whatever, but I actually prefer if people know me by my face. So luckily, I think especially in the past couple years now, everybody just knows my profile picture, and it's a lot funnier that way.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
that one bird is actually from a manga. It's not a thing I drew. Some people thought it was my mascot, and
Yeah.
to this day, I still there are other people who use that profile picture, and so every single time I get those DMs of people saying, "Yo, this guy just stole your character or stole your profile picture," and I'm like, "No, no, no, that ain't me. I haven't made that. I wish I did." It's from a manga called Oyasumi Pumpun, which is a very nice, um, manga Japanese
Yeah, yeah.
comic. It's probably my favorite of all time. Not that I really read a lot of them, but I remember it really stuck out to me, and it's a very interesting story. And I love the art style. I love the artist. I even bought the art book, and I have the physical manga in my room, like all of them.
All of them? Oh, the complete set basically. That's nice.
Yeah, all the volumes. So it's a very nice story. It's a depending on which moment you read it, it could be a bit depressing. Some people
Yeah.
say,
I don't know.
but yeah.
Wait, I don't know if you noticed by the way, but like the volumes that you have 7 of them basically, right? Like the big ones.
uh, I have 13 volumes.
Oh, so it's the Italian version. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know if it's different in Japan
Yeah,
or.
there's this. I was gonna say like the English volumes. Basically, they're like more thicker and bigger, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
And the logo of the Goodnight Pumpun goes like lower and lower, and it basically dedicates as to how more depressing and sadder the story gets with each volume, which is actually kind of crazy. Let me,
Oh wow, I didn't
yeah,
know
yeah.
that.
Let me show you the picture. I'll send it real quick. So, good night, pun pun. Uh,
Yeah, I can say it's to me it was a
volumes.
very interesting and very thought-provoking story, I'd say. But yeah, depending on where you're at in life or your mood at the moment, like it's not something that I would recommend you just read if you are in a bad mood. It's probably
Yeah,
gonna bring you down.
you have to be in a very specific good mood in order to read that because it is like very hard to read if you're not really in a good position in life to do so. But yeah, I sent you a pic. The one on the left is basically the set.
Oh yeah, there you go. Mine is the same as the one on the right, except it's obviously not in Japanese.
Yeah, and not in Japanese, in Italian basically. Okay.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, so that's where it comes from. And now this is going to sound like I'm making this up, but I'm not. And unfortunately, I don't have that tweet on hand right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I made a tweet a while back. I was looking back at that manga, and the one image that I used from my profile picture,
Mm-hmm.
it's actually on the 7th volume, page 27.
Okay.
I'm not even joking.
Bruh, 727, fucking insane, dude.
So, considering that I picked that profile picture way back in the day, like maybe probably 10 years ago at this point, absolutely insane coincidence, insane foreshadowing. I mean,
Is
it's
that
gotta be a bit
fate?
of that magic.
Is this fate? Who
I
knows?
think it is. I think it
It
is.
might actually be though, for real.
Yeah.
So yeah, my next question is, what made you decide to make Osu content? Because previously, as you said, you were making like memes and shit posts on random internet topics, but then you slowly switched towards like kind of the same thing, but for also content at first, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, what made you that? Like, what made you to experiment with that?
Well, content creation, video editing, however you want to define it, has always been part of my life because it's one of my biggest passions. So when I was making those videos, those YouTube poops and whatnot, I never really thought of starting a YouTube channel. Like I just started making them and then people like them and
Uh
next
huh.
thing you know I have this little fan base, I guess you could say, like people who enjoyed my YouTube poops. And obviously the more time passed, because I had made those videos for a couple years
Mm-hmm.
already, so I started very early. And as time goes on, I mean, I still think those YouTube poops are cool, but I was obviously shifting somewhere else with my passions. And since my main passion was Osu, I just combined the two things I knew, which were video editing, music making in a sense,
Yeah.
and Osu. So I made the very first Osu YouTube poops that some people may remember, like Night of Wolf or Keenan Power,
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
those things. And eventually it led to the Osu Megamix. And after that, I just wanted to explore more content avenues, and I eventually just decided to put myself in front of the camera. And next thing you know, I start making Osu content where I show my face, and then
Yeah.
I've never had a plan, to be honest with you. I just went with whatever I was passionate about at the time. So I started out by reviewing tablets, like many creators do. Then I transitioned to keyboards, and then the rest is history.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get into. I think we'll get slowly but surely into that, but like maybe a less detail. But we'll see. But
Yeah, but it was just a natural transition for me
yeah,
because if I got into, let's say, Beat Saber back in the day, even though it's impossible, but because it wasn't around, but I would have probably
yeah.
become a Beat Saber content creator, you
Oh,
know? Like
damn. Okay, interesting.
anything that I was very into, I would make videos about.
So yeah, speaking of which, what was like the first viral quote unquote video that you remember of yours? Like the first, also video that kind of popped off, if you know what I mean?
Um, oh man, it's been a while. Honestly, I don't think I've ever been particularly unlucky as far as views go. Even nowadays, to me, if a video gets 10, 20, even 30,000 views, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, yeah, I know what
So,
you mean.
for back in the day, it was even more significant. But I'm just scrolling back right now to show you. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so, funnily enough, the very first Osu video that I've made, which was a meme, was Rhythm Heaven Cookiesy interview, where once again I just combined a bunch of things I enjoyed, which were Rhythm Heaven and obviously my
Oh,
Cookiesy fanboyism.
yeah. Yeah, you
And
can see that on the title or in the thumbnail.
yeah, yeah. So that one video, looking now, it has about 50,000 views, which is a lot.
But what about back
But
then?
yeah, back then it probably did well, but I think the second video I ever made about Osu, which is the sounds of Ruruchi, that's definitely the one that popped off because right now it's at 200,000 views.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. But do you remember what was like like your initial thoughts or just your feeling on like having a video blow up like that, if you know what I mean?
Um, Honestly, not really, because I never looked at views, so
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really care all that much. I
Okay.
remember one of my videos that really gave me some big emotions was Lovely Light Switch, which was uploaded right after the Cookiesy one. So if you don't know what it is, it's basically one of those YouTube poops that I used to
Yeah, yeah,
make,
yeah.
featuring Jack's Film, who is Jack's Films.
Yeah,
I don't
Jack's
even remember
films.
his nickname.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
there
Jack's
we go.
films.
And he was a very big YouTuber back then, and he used to issue those challenges to his audience where he would say, take those videos and uh, make something cool out of it, and if you do, you will be featured on my channel.
Hmm.
So what I did was I took some of his videos, I made this music, uh, YouTube poop music video,
Yeah.
and I remember that video was doing normally, like it had a bunch of views, like whatever 5,000 and whatnot, and then I get the notification from Jack's Films, who commented on my video 9 years ago, and I'm
Damn.
like, I'm looking at the comment and I'm like, wait, this is actually Jack's Films. Keep in mind, I was what? I was 16 at the time, 15 or 16. So to me, having this guy who I watched every single day comment on my video was unbelievable.
Yeah, just insane, like that feeling of
And
like
I think at the
uplifting.
time, if you commented on a video, it was somehow visible on your channel, because as soon as he left that comment, I saw the views skyrocket and all.
Holy.
Not so much the views, I think, but there were a lot of comments coming, and I'm like, holy smokes! So many people are leaving a comment. Oh, this is great! And then that video was featured on his channel, and the video exploded.
Yeah, yeah.
So right now, I'm looking now, it's got almost 400,000, and that's pretty insane, man. That's the one that I remember the most fondly. But as far as Osu goes, yeah, the Sons of Ruruchi was a super insta hit. Everybody loved it on YouTube, Reddit,
Yeah.
social media, although limited at the time. I think it was even cited on someone's ask.fm. That's how long ago we're talking, right?
Jesus.
And
Ask.fm, man. That
yeah, and
existed.
immediately after, I dropped the Osu Mega Mix, and that one also went turbo viral. So it's just, I mean, I was bringing some quality content, I'm not gonna lie,
True.
especially compared to the scene at the time. So it kind of makes sense that it happened.
Yeah, but yeah, that was what I was looking for. Your opinion, your like initial experience with having a video blow up, regardless if it was like Osu or anything else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was pretty awesome with the Jack's Films thing, but I was never particularly interested in numbers. So it was mostly the fact that Jack commented, and then a lot of people got to see it.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
it.
that's interesting. So, next question is also, to say the least, interesting. But what inspired you to make the Ruruchi documentary video? Since you technically, made everything like editing wise, the script and everything. But also, I think Willie was the person, basically talking in the video.
Yeah.
So how did you came with that idea?
So as I said earlier, at the time, the also content scene on YouTube was very limited, bordering non-existent.
Mm-hmm.
So there were a few videos that were in documentary style. Admittedly, Willy was one of the ones who was already making those videos in good quality. But there were some YouTubers who were making those player lists, like top player lists and whatnot, and they were completely inaccurate. Like they weren't even based on any game knowledge. It was just a popularity contest video,
Yeah.
like the best HDHR players of all time, and then it's okay, Wabuf Wolf rank 1, even though at the time probably Lua will be the main answer for most, or even Cookiezi, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember again back then, I can't really recall what year that documentary is from.
Like,
Uh,
I think it was 2019 or like 2020.
yeah, so it's a bit newer compared to the time period, because just now we were talking about videos that I had made in 2015. So now we pretty big jump of like 4 years or so.
Yeah,
And
I'll get back into that. You'll see like a question similar to, I guess, for that period, but yeah,
yeah,
just
yeah. So
continue.
I remember just wanting to make a good video about Ruruchi because I think is one of those players who really deserves it because obviously there was a lot of hype and a lot of um, discussion surrounding Kukizi in particular because obviously he was the best player of all time. But Ruruchi really did show that it was possible to get to the top through hard work, and I thought he was a very inspirational and pretty unique player, to be honest, for a variety of reasons. So I decided to make this documentary. I wrote the script, but at the time I was extremely, and I mean extremely insecure about the way that my voice sounds like. Um,
Bruh.
because um, like before that video was made, I had never showed my voice in a YouTube video.
Yeah, that's
People
also.
knew.
I guess we can connect these questions then, since I had that was kind of my next question. So, why did it took you that long for you to, actually start making videos with your voice? Because previously you've been making also content, right? But all of the videos were basically just commentary from other people, or literally zero commentary in them, like lists or clips or stuff like that. So,
Yeah,
continue.
so basically, j- what I will do was I would write a script and then I will just go to my American friends and say, "Hey, can you help me with this video?" Like, I will do the editing. I've already made the script. You just have to read this, and you can be on my channel. And they agreed. So that's the way that it goes. Now, before I get into the exact reason, let me just specify. Going back to the previous question, the Ruruchi documentary, the reason Willie is there is because he was already making also documentaries. He was already kind of known in the space. We were already friends. We go way back. Like I met Willie in 2014. So
Damn.
it's
Okay. So yeah, y'all really go way back.
yeah, that guy saw me go from 5 digit to 3 digit and then 2 digit. So we really started way back in the day. So I just asked him, and I wrote the script, by the way. All those videos, even if my voice wasn't in it, I was, I guess, the creative hand behind everything that was going on at the time.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, the reason why I didn't really use my own voice is because back then I was a bit insecure about the way that my voice sounds, which I know is crazy nowadays because I mean that's kind of my strength. People actually love the way that my voice sounds. They love my accent.
Yeah, the Italian
Uh,
accent. They love
they
it.
like the Italian accent. It's very fun for people and very unique for people to listen to. But
True.
back in the day, I didn't know that, and there is this tendency, especially in my country, um, of making fun of people who speak English, and you can really tell that they are Italian.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So, again, even nowadays, sometimes I'll upload a video or I will read the comments, and there will be an Italian guy commenting in Italian under an English video saying, "Oh, dude, I can totally tell you're Italian, dude. Why don't you try and lose your accent, dude?" And I'm like, "Oh God, who cares, man? Who cares at this point?"
Yeah.
But yeah, surprisingly, when I actually started, I guess, revealing my own voice or being a bit more comfortable, it was extremely awkward at first. And my accent was even stronger than it is today, believe it or not. But
Yeah.
eventually, you just get used to it and you stop caring, especially because for every comment from some Italian dude saying, "Oh, you sound like that," there were at least 10 comments saying, "Oh man, I love the sound of your voice. I love your accent. Ah, Italian, very nice, very sexy." So it's like, who cares, you
What
know?
the fuck? Very
Yes,
sexy.
trust me, people do say that. Now, I don't necessarily
No
agree.
fucking way.
I personally think a French English is a lot sexier, but the point is,
Is it
I
though?
stopped caring, and it actually became my strength. One of the reasons people love my channel and the stuff that I do, as far as content goes, is also the way that I speak and the way that I act and all the gestures and just the way that I am naturally. So
So
no need
yeah,
to fix it.
that's cool, honestly. So yeah, you slowly but surely started to integrate your voice into your videos, and people got used to it, with time. And as you said, they started to love your voice and everything. Uh, Over the years, you've become a figure in the user community, whether it's being a top player, I guess if you can call that. Actually, definitely you can call that. To be fair, at the time, as well as in general, just making content in the scene, stream highlights and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But as you were growing, you decided to make this one series that kind of still runs to this day by the name of Let's Argue. So
Yes.
what inspired you to make that series?
Oh, I straight up copied it from
Wait,
Anthony Fantano. I don't know
Anthony
if you.
Fontano? No fucking way, bro.
Yeah, so for those of you that don't know, Anthony Fantano,
Oh my
Fantano,
god, yeah.
the
Wait,
melon,
yeah.
the best thief in the game. He's a music YouTuber and he has this series called Let's Argue where, well, he literally does what I do. So he just takes the most absurd YouTube comments or he just asks people to send him hot takes related to music and he just makes videos
Oh my
responding
god.
to those. So I did that. I just took that format, and that's why I called it Let's Argue Osu Edition. I mean, it's basically just a tribute.
Yeah.
Uh, I didn't even dream of claiming that I made the format up. Like, it's literally
Yeah.
Let's Argue. Nothing more, nothing less.
Yeah, I completely forgot. Yeah, I watch Anthony Fontana on a regular basis, which is funny, and I never realized that Let's Argue his series could potentially be, the inspiration for what you're making, dude. That is so funny, dude.
In
How the
fact, if you really pay attention, if you watch one of those videos, especially from back then, because I don't know if his intro changed, but I pretty much stole the whole intro. Like, I literally the sentence, uh, hello, this is Let's Argue Osu Edition, the series where I ask you for your hot takes, unpopular opinions, and tough questions. Those
Yeah, oh
things,
my
verbatim,
god.
that's what Fantano says.
Oh my god, yeah, literally word by word. Just also
Yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
shit. Yeah, that's fair, honestly. That's funny. How the hell did I not realize that? Uh, but yeah, you've made like a decent amount of videos to say the least on your channel. In combination with your your second channel, there's loads, maybe even like 400 plus, if I'm not mistaken, or
hmm
close to that number. But what would you say are some of your favorite videos that you have worked on?
Um, well, okay, so the thing about the second channel, it was mostly a clips dump. Not that there no work went into it, of course it did, especially because I never had an editor. I
Yeah.
just did everything myself, but I'd say probably some of my main videos on my channel are the ones that I'm proudest of. If we're looking at I suppose, impact that it had on the internet or just the Osu community. One of my older videos from 10 years ago, which had a pretty big impact, was Swag Circulation,
Swag
which was,
circulation. Oh yeah.
yeah, many people don't even know that I made that.
Which is
They
funny.
heard, and that video actually had a bit of a resurgence in the past couple years. It keeps getting views. I think it's sitting at about uh
Let me check. So
yeah let's just check. I think it's yeah, 800,000 views.
821K views. That is absolutely crazy, dude.
Yeah, and that song went around on TikTok. I see it being repurposed time and time again on different social media channels. I mean, it's kind of insane to think back on that I had that type of impact. Um, of course, another video that I thought was pretty cool that it did well was my Tag 4 video with Mafam, Aireu, and Miss Magius. Shoutouts to them, by the way.
Oh
Big
yeah,
man.
I remember those videos. Yeah, you were like basically doing like a FC, but like with multiple people.
Yeah, because it's Tag 4, so it's
Yeah,
supposed to be played by 4 people.
yeah.
But if I have to talk about more recent stuff, I think the videos I'm proudest of are probably my vlogs, just because it's kind of a combination of everything that I like to do.
Ah,
So
yeah.
there is some video making, storytelling, and also just documenting cool things that happened so that they don't get lost in time.
Speaking of which, we'll get into those vlogs towards the end of the interview, I think, because I have a couple of questions related to those. You'll see
Yes,
what I
sir.
mean. But yeah, speaking of which, is there any video in specific you weren't really happy with how it turned out? Since we already mentioned, favorite videos. Yeah.
Well, I don't necessarily think so. I suppose it depends. Obviously, I'm a very huge perfectionist.
Uh huh.
So every time I make a video, I've always double and triple and quadruple checked just to make sure that everything was hitting properly.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you can't do that because, for example, if you have a sponsor and you have
Oh
to
yeah.
make the video in a certain time frame, you kind of have to make some compromises. So there have been times where I've made a video that I know was a bit scuffed, but I just uploaded it anyway because I mean I kind of had to do it basically.
Le
But
sponsor le pressure le cooked, to say the least.
yeah, no, that's how it goes, man. You gotta have a very strict schedule to please the sponsors so you can keep doing what you do.
Yeah.
Especially because I didn't really stream on Twitch at the time with the intent of turning it into some sort of career, I guess you could say. But the one video that comes to mind that I was so unhappy with, I actually ended up deleting it, was a keyboard review.
Oh, okay.
So it was the Belle Delphine keyboard.
What? Such a thing exists?
Yes, so basically it was oh man, I mean, even just thinking about it now, it's kind of insane. But okay, for those of you that don't know, luckily, Belle Delphine was this like I don't even know how to call it because there was no OnlyFans back then, so
I
it was
mean,
just
it was just a weird,
like
I guess a content creator
e-girl.
or an e-girl, yeah.
I mean,
Kind
to be
of.
fair, she was very good at marketing. Like I can't really deny that she knew how to make money and how to monetize a certain sections of the internet,
Yeah,
which would go crazy.
she was making like rather weird videos that would attract a lot of attention.
Yeah,
Uh,
so yeah, like yeah, let's leave it at that because I want this
yeah,
video to stay monetized on your channel. But long story short, even though her content was pretty much unmonetizable by most, she somehow managed through her marketing powers to bring forward a couple collabs, and one of those was with this company, which I believe was called Ghost Keyboards, something along those lines.
uh huh.
These are the same people who made a bunch of other very generic keyboards where you just slap a creator's name on them and so you can sell more models. And so one of the most popular videos from a very great keyboard content creator, shout out to him, Glarsis,
Shout out to
who
glasses, yeah.
who I also think is the probably still the biggest content creator in the keyboard space. His most popular video was the PewDiePie keyboard video, if you remember.
Oh yeah, I watched
And
that video. Yeah, oh, isn't that the same company basically? Ghost Keyboard.
yes, and it's the same exact company. So what I did was, I basically I wanted to make a video that was similar in concept So I just bought this keyboard, which, by the way, I don't think it was even available in Europe. So I paid way too much for that
Oh
keyboard,
God.
and it came to my home. And so I make the video. Obviously, the keyboard sucks. I knew that. And if you, oh man, if you were to watch that video, it was basically the same as Glarcy's video, except less funny. Like I didn't even
Uh-huh.
make a lot of jokes. The thumbnail was the same. Like, just people say that.
Just unoriginal and like unfulfilling, as you would say, maybe to say the least.
Yeah, very very unoriginal. People say imitation is the best form of flattery, which is true. I do believe that. And in fact, you could almost philosophically take that video as a Glarcy's tribute if you so desire. But yeah, after I uploaded that video and the fact that it was getting views, I just felt bad. So I ended up removing it. That video stayed up for like maybe a month tops, and it had about 50,000 views. So I'm sure that
Oh,
if
damn.
I kept that video up, I probably could have gotten way more views, but I just didn't want that to be the case because I wasn't really happy with that video. It was kind of soulless.
Yeah,
And
I
even
understand.
Glarcis had saw it, and he left me a comment, which I thought was pretty cool. But yeah, no, I just ended up removing it because it wasn't good.
Yeah, that's some interesting Spazza lore to the people, to say the least.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe
Uh,
some people even remember that video and they can testify that
yeah,
it was indeed very
they
generic.
probably do. If you're watching this on YouTube, comment down below if you remember that video. I'll probably
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
hit you with a thumbs up in the replies. But yeah, to say the least, around let's say 2021, 2022, you drastically slowed down the pace of like uploads on on your channel, basically. So you've explained this in a video, but maybe we can get a bit more into detail as to what was the reason for this, and did you wish you were able to upload more then?
So 2021, you're talking?
Like, not just in general, the big break that you had. Maybe it was towards like end of 2022.
Yeah, so 2021 and COVID in general is when I actually started making a lot of videos because obviously, I
Oh
mean, we all
yeah.
know what happened.
Oh yeah. Back
So
then
I
you made
was,
a lot. Yeah, my
yeah, we
bad.
were all stuck in our homes, and there was only a few things you could do. And actually, 2021 was a real creative renaissance in a sense because COVID was over momentarily, and I moved back to my university apartment. So that was also another thing that was very stimulating to me. That's where some of my more happy, like cool, very consistent videos are at. And this is also when I started getting more sponsors, including very well-known brands, because I was uploading so much.
Yeah.
And it's to the point, by the way, that during the 2021 Osu List Week, I made a video tier listing my own 2021 content because there was so much of it.
Bruh.
And in
Yeah.
that video, I placed the Belle Delphine keyboard on F tier. So that's how you know. That's how you know.
Aha. Okay, so that's like
But
the only hint towards that video existing.
yeah, pretty much. But um, so I'd say 2022, I was definitely more inactive. I still made videos relatively consistently, although not obviously to the extent that I had done up until that point. But yeah, the main reason that I took my break is because I had to focus on finishing my education because I was doing my bachelor's degree, and then after that there were another 2 years of masters. So I didn't want to lose track and dedicate too much time to other things because okay, sure, it's cool to make YouTube videos and okay, yeah, making money, okay, woo, sure, but I if it comes to the point where I got exams that I had to study for and I'm waiting until the very last moment just because I'm trying to do XYZ. It's not good. And I was also mentally overwhelmed because at that point I had so many keyboards that I was just repulsed by them. Like I didn't even want to have this many things. I would open up my closet and there were 15 packages, and I'm like, why do I have all those
Oh.
things I'm never going to use?
Uh-huh.
Like everything is all over the place. I got switches everywhere, and like, so I just had to get a full mental reset. So I ended up selling all my keyboards. I sold much of the useless tech junk that I had that I wasn't using anyway. A lot of stuff I just gave away, and so I freed my mind a bit, and that's how I eventually was able to set back all of those problems and just come back to making stuff.
Yeah,
Especially, I'd say last year, 2024 was a huge year.
yeah, big
which I-
year for you, dude. Like, you did massive stuff then.
Yeah, but that's the reason why I took a bit of a break, and it's not like I ever really came back to making videos actively on my main channel, because they require time and effort, and
You were really focused on the
2024.
second channel and just streaming overall, so which also
Yeah,
took a lot of
yeah,
time.
yeah. As time went on, I just put more focus towards streaming, and obviously promoting my stream in different ways, which I guess we can get into later. But yeah, that's the reason why I got a huge break. And by the way, that break that I took, which lasted pretty much a couple years, because okay, I would still make content, but it was really every once in a while. No real care, no real sponsors anymore, no
Yeah.
real money or anything. I didn't really care that much. During this time, that's also when I pretty much stopped playing Gosu actively, because I was very addicted to the game, and I thought I would have to step away from that to see what else is out there and focus on my education and career.
Yeah, so basically a combination of like multiple stuff made you just, take a break and in general just a mental reset on like everything related to the game.
Yeah, I went a bit long on that, but to give you the cliff notes, overwhelmed, too much work plus university plus other things outside of YouTube, obviously, because I was also doing other things for work. Too many objects, too many physical things I didn't need. Didn't need to play the game, just needed to have a full reset, and that's what I did.
Yeah, that's dope. So, but after your humongous break, to say the least, I mean, you were still uploading, but not as actively, you know what I mean? In April of 2024, you made the massive comeback in the OSU community and just content creation in general. So, how did it feel to like finally have that little bit of freedom that you were, striving for, and just finally being able to enjoy making content again?
Oh man, I mean, it was great. I was just finishing up my master's degree, and I already had a bit of a plan of what I wanted to do, because here's the thing. Up until that point, as I said earlier, I didn't ever really care about numbers or money or all those things. Obviously, I took sponsors at one point because I was really working hard, uploading a lot, so I might as well, right?
Yeah.
But I think I'd like to think I've always kept my head on my shoulders and never really went fully in 100%. And even while not doing that, I think I've achieved some very great results. I mean, I just the way that I knew everybody in the community, and I had a lot of connections because I'm basically friends with everybody. I don't
Yeah.
I don't particularly have any specific beef with any creator or anything. So I thought it would be kind of interesting to see what would happen if I really put myself out there and tried to actually make content full time, because again, for the previous 10 years that I had been in the OSU community, it was always a balancing act. Let's make videos while also doing university, while also doing this and that.
Yep.
Now it was officially, okay, I'm done with university. I don't have any more gigs. Let's just see what I can build. So I was very excited, and man, I mean, it was amazing.
I mean, we literally just saw the results, the huge rise and impact you had on the community again, and just the funny clips and, moments that you shared that year specifically. But what made you specifically want to focus a bit more on streaming then, like compared to previously just, making videos?
Well, again, as I said, you gotta. Okay, look, it's cool to be creative. I've always been creative. I've started making videos in 2011. I didn't really have any aspirations of becoming a YouTuber or anything. It just kind of happened, right? But when you're 25 years old, obviously you have to think about, okay, if I gotta do this full time, I need to make some money, because I can't really pay rent with creativity or anything.
No, not the rent. No.
Luckily, I've done, again, I've never had a problem. I've always done well because I've always made money by doing my creative stuff. There was also a little time where I did also coaching for like a year or so, and obviously work outside of the internet I've always done. So I've never really had an issue with that. Luckily, I've always been working the whole time. But yeah, if I were to chase my dream in quotes of trying and see how far I can go with Twitch, I obviously had to have a plan. And sorry, not with Twitch, but with content creation in general. So the thing about YouTube is it's a lot different now than it was back then, even 5 years ago, because the algorithm changes all the time.
True.
Videos, they don't really get as many views as they used to. I mean, it's a bunch of different things. It really is quantity over quality for the most part. So the more you upload, the more you are in the home page, the more views you're gonna get. It came to a point where my clips channel was getting more views than my main, even though videos on my main would have a lot more effort. I mean, even just looking at, for example, this year's Osu list week.
Oh yeah.
Even though I definitely put the effort in and the editing is nice and clean and everything is cool, they have like a third of the views that they had the previous year, which has less views than the previous year. So it's all kind of
it's all mashed up, like mixed and everything.
It's an ever-changing landscape, and overall it's just not a reliable way to make an income unless you got sponsors in every single video, which I obviously didn't. So to give you an example, like, even, sorry if I interrupt, but even on my second channel, my clips channel, even though I was uploading every day and every video was getting at least 10,000 views, sometimes way more, I was still making like, give or take, 150 euros a month. I mean, because AdSense is just not great.
I mean,
if you want to make money.
I mean, to say the least, that's literally how much I make from AdSense.
No, so you can understand that it's not zero. Like, it's cool, but again,
that shit is not paying rent. It's not paying bills.
Like, I can barely. Maybe I can pay for electricity with that.
Yeah.
But that's about all there is to it. So I obviously had to have a more reasonable plan in mind, and obviously Twitch is the main thing. Like, it's a very good way to build a community, and it's a completely different format, and it's a lot easier to obviously, earn money through people supporting you with subscriptions or direct donations and things of that nature. So I kind of knew that if my intention was to get somewhere, I had to push hard on that. So I would use Twitch to stream every day, provide entertainment, do things, do funny things, host events, and then just use YouTube as the showcase of that, like many streamers do.
Yeah, and
it ended up working.
I mean, it's kind of a balance, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I can see why you decided to do that, and plus it's like a new, different venture compared to what you were previously doing.
Well, during COVID, I was also more of a streamer. I think COVID was probably my most balanced time period as far as
YouTube,
streaming plus
Twitch,
YouTube.
yeah,
Yeah, because at the time I didn't have my second channel, so all I was doing was streaming, editing my VODs into long form stuff, and also making videos on my own. So
yeah, got it.
at that time, I had already grew a Twitch community. In fact, that's when I became a Twitch partner. But I had maybe an average of 85 to 90 viewers, whereas for the past year, like 2024, I was at a point where it was about 200. So very crazy growth for me.
Insane numbers, dude. Absolutely insane numbers. But yeah, out of the two though, like Twitch streaming and just making videos on YouTube, which one do you prefer more? Wait, what the fuck did my mic cut off? What?
Yeah.
So between YouTube and Twitch streaming, which one do you prefer a bit more? Oh my god, a bit more.
I think YouTube is a bit more creatively stimulating because you can come up with an idea and I'm a classic, I guess, creative in a sense. Like I enjoy the process of coming up with an idea, writing a script, and then editing the script so it all flows, recording everything, and then after I get the footage, I can then mix and mash it all together until it finally comes. And it's very satisfying to create that YouTube video with all the edits and all the effort that went into it.
Yep.
It's a lot more satisfying to see that final video and say, wow, this is exactly how I imagined it a month ago, and look at it now. Oh my god, and people are receiving it very well, and people are loving it. So
yeah, exactly. But when it comes to like Twitch, let's say you're a bit more limited as to what you can do creatively, since it's live. You like have like no room for error as much as like YouTube. You can just
yeah, no,
plan stuff out.
Twitch is fine. I enjoy it, but it's not, I think, as creatively satisfying as making a video and just going through that entire process. And plus, the thing about Twitch, it's maybe even worse than YouTube in the sense that you have to stream every single day, because otherwise people are quick to jump ship.
Yep. They just forget. Like, you need to stream like consistently in order to maintain that audience.
Yeah, it's especially like, okay, I'm not saying that it's going to happen to me or that it did happen to me, because luckily my community has always been there. But again, I'm a very small streamer, so even if I were to stream right now, I'm pretty sure I would have way less viewers simply because I haven't streamed in the past 2 or 3 months. Whereas on YouTube, at least, even if the algorithm is what it is, maybe they just see it in the homepage and they will check it out. Oh, hey, it's Spazza. Oh, yeah, let me see what he has to say. Whereas on Twitch, you have to be lucky that someone shows up if you're live, because maybe even times change and there's a lot more pressure, I think.
Yeah, you don't have that reach as you previously had, because Twitch depends on like other platforms in order to grow, compared to like YouTube that just has an algorithm that recommends it to people.
Yeah, so even if we take a big streamer, for example, like, and again, my perception of big streamer is only related to the Osu community because I don't really watch any other streamers. So my shining light, the example will be BTMC, right?
Yeah.
So obviously BTMC, biggest Osu streamer of all time, biggest Osu content creator, we all know him. If we were to just look at the raw numbers, obviously even he has taken a bit of a hit because he hasn't been streaming as consistently anymore. And as much anymore, so it doesn't really have that same, I guess, online popularity or whatever, however you want to define that. I'm talking specifically about the Osu community, by the way, because he's doing great in a lot of other contexts. So
Yeah.
it's not like he's in a bad spot. He's doing absolutely great, and in fact, a lot better than even years where he had 2,000 views per stream.
Yeah,
But
true.
it's just to show that even if you're a very big streamer or at least a medium-sized streamer, you can still go through those big number Zwifts, and it's just
Yeah.
you gotta be on top of things if you
Yeah,
want to make it on Twitch.
you still have to be consistent regardless of the size and the audience.
Yeah,
and
lots of swings, not
Yeah.
Swifts.
yeah, Swift. But yeah, that's pretty much everything so far with the content creation part. But let's move on to a different part that we kind of talked about a little bit. So did you enjoy the process of improving and grinding the game when you were still, like kind of, on your top player grind, if you know what I mean? So did you enjoy that process?
Oh, of course. I mean, who would play a game they don't enjoy?
I mean, yeah. But yeah, but
It's if you want me to go a bit deeper, because right now I think things are a lot different than they were back then.
we'll get into
To
that a
me,
bit later as like
oh, okay,
comparison.
okay, all right. So yeah, short answer. Of course, I enjoyed myself. I mean, it's cool to improve. It's cool to see those maps that you think are impossible and then FC them eventually with DT. I mean, it's pretty cool, man.
Did you
Really enjoyed
enjoy
it.
the? Did you feel like any pressure to maintain your rank back then when you grinded the game?
Um, I it wasn't really any external pressure. It was more of a challenge that I had given to myself.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like, a goal to yourself, basically. So,
Yeah, I remember back when I got 3 digits. I mean, I honestly I just kept improving and improving. So I really got to at least rank 600 relatively quickly. And so at that point, my only goal was, okay, let's stay in 3 digit, or let's reach this PP milestone next. Let's get a 600 next, or whatever else I was thinking, right?
yeah.
But then I didn't really care all that much. I mean, there is a whole topic we could talk about. Like, there's a whole discussion about when I thought it was over.
Yeah.
I wouldn't improve anymore back when I was ranked 700, and then next thing you know, obviously I ended up getting top 100 in 2019. So it is indeed possible, everybody, but there are setbacks. You gotta be strong mentally and just continue pushing.
Yeah, also is, a mental game. Really depends on that.
Yeah.
But where the hell was the question, dude? What's sick? Ah, yeah, here's the thing. So, this was what I was going to, what I was, keeping you, basically what you were going to say previously. So, do you think it's harder to compete in today's age of Osu compared to previously?
So when you say hard to compete, do you mean as far as ranks go?
Yeah, basically ranks, mainly ranks.
Well, yes and no. I think I obviously have a different point of view because I grew up with a different game and a different perception of difficulty, if you will. Because back in the day, 600 PP was a PP record.
Oh, yeah.
So to me, even the fact that nowadays people get 700s like it's nothing, and then obviously we got the absurdity of top players getting 1k, 1.3k, 4k, 5k. I don't even remember what the PP record is. I think it's 1.6 or 7. So, oh yeah, actually it's 2000. Shit.
Brother, what the hell? It's literally 2 to the power of 11 PP.
Yeah, whatever. That map doesn't exist. So let's say it's 1700, right?
Okay.
So, yeah, it's completely ridiculous to me. But if someone joins the game in 2024, they already know the best of the best can get 1.7k, then to them, there's not that mental wall that says, oh wow, 700 pp is a lot. To them, it's probably easier because they know that Sans DT or the DT slop things can already give you 800. So I
Yeah.
don't think they have as many issues pushing themselves. And there's also a lot more maps. Of course, you need to.
Yeah, a lot more opportunities to farm as well.
Yeah. I remember back in the day there weren't like obviously farm maps came out and I would farm all of them with HDHR and then I ended up farming all of them with DT only. Now the landscape is so huge that you can very much specialize in one or two things and you can make it to the top of the leaderboards. There are people I know who they wouldn't be seeing they wouldn't be seen dead playing hard rock
Bruh.
or hidden, but they got like 800s with terrible accuracy because of CSR and like aim slop, so they are still very high in the rankings. So if I have to give you a definitive answer, I think if you are an older player, it's a lot harder to compete because there's a lot of very, very active players who are playing every single day and they are putting in hours and hours and hours. But if you are someone who's like 14 and you got nothing to do but just go to school and play Osu, then I think it's a lot more stimulating and very, feasible to compete with people, just
Yeah.
like it was back in the day.
Yeah, honestly, fair. That's a fair approach to say the least. It also was a bit interesting because, again, you are for a pretty decent amount of time in this game, and you've seen a
Yeah.
lot of players come and go. So I really was interested into knowing that opinion, especially as someone who has grinded the game as well.
Yeah, I
Uh,
gotta say, this is especially my case because, again, I reached my peak in 2019, and then ever since then, I pretty much slowly abandoned playing actively. But there's a lot of people my age, or at least in the same ballpark, who didn't stop. They continued grinding, and they are just as good, if not in many cases, a lot more well rounded than many of the top players at the moment. So it's definitely, it all depends on how much you play. It's all about playing. If you stop playing, obviously you lose it, but yeah, that's the way it goes. Like, you just have to be active in this game.
Yep, true. So, here's another thing that I want to ask. So, what are some important tips that you would give to like players trying to improve in general, no matter what rank they are or anything like that?
Well, I've made a lot of videos about OSU improvement, and I've done all sorts of advice from gameplay to just uh, mentality and whatnot, mindset.
But yeah, but
I think
let's generalize it. Let's like give it like like in general, what would you recommend to people to focus on, if you know what I mean?
competition is cool, but it's gotta be healthy. Don't look at people to be envious. Think about your own path of improvement. Everybody improves at different paces. As long as you keep at it, you push yourself, you find what you like to do, you're going to get better. So just do that. Don't look at players who are improving faster and start thinking that genetics are a thing and so you are genetically unable to improve. That's copium. It is an argument if we're talking about the upper echelon of speed. Like, okay, I get it, not everybody can stream 340, but you don't need to do that to become a good player. So, and you especially don't need that to break 4 digits or 3 digits. So just don't cope, uh, and you're gonna be fine.
Yeah. Let's continue though. So, are you satisfied with the goals that you have reached with also, or do you think that there was something that you could have reached back then as well?
So your mic cut off for a sec.
Ah, shit. Are you satisfied with the goals that you reached in Osu? In Osu, oh my god, man. Or do you think that you could have reached something else back then at your prime?
So we're talking specifically also gameplay.
Yeah, like your back. Yeah, basically that. Specifically also gameplay.
Honestly, yes. Because I never thought that I would ever be a 2-digit. As I said earlier, I had that extreme dooming phase when I was rank 600, 700, thinking that that was it. I would never be able to ever play double time or read above AR 10.3. So I thought it was doomed. So to be able to actually reach the top 100 to me was as good as it's gonna get. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I haven't really pushed forward, because I didn't really
Yeah.
have an interest in reaching top 50. Of course, again, there was also just life getting in the way. That was right about when I started uni.
Yep.
That's when I peaked. So obviously, after I achieved my long life goal of becoming a 2-digit, I just focused on other stuff too, and slowly drifted away. But no, I don't. I'm not delusional enough to say, yeah, man, I could have totally been top 10 if I wanted to. No, I was totally cool at rank, I believe 96. It was
Yeah.
my absolute peak.
Let me check.
93 actually.
93.
There we
Yeah,
go.
93 was your peak. Do you
Yeah,
remember
so
that?
yeah, I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah, just
So yeah.
like more humble and realistic way to say the least.
Yeah, no, I didn't really care about pushing to top 50 or top 10. I didn't think I would be able to, for both my level of skill at the time and also just time, life, uni, things.
Okay, but what about the current goal? So, will you get that 700 PP play, or is Aireu cooked?
Oh man, I wish I could give you a proper answer. So obviously, for those of you that don't know, I made this bet. I made this fun tweet where I said, on Aireu's life, I'm getting a 700 this year. And then, not happy with that, I actually doubled down and I said, this year I'm getting multiple 700s and a job. Now,
No,
luckily, one of those things has been achieved.
trigger warning job. Trigger warning.
As it turns out, 700 is harder for me. So we'll see what happens. To be fair, I did choke 700 a bunch of times. I mean, the most painful one was on a DT map where I basically FC'd the art parts. I was at 730 pp, and then at the end there was a slow part, and I missed there twice. So I mean, it's cursed, man. But it's definitely, I know I can do it. It's just that in order to get there, I actually have to play every day. So maybe I'll get there. I'm planning on, if you want to know.
But yeah, dude, I know that feeling of like being cursed for a certain milestone, cause like, oh my god, man, the amount of times I've choked a 400 PP play. I don't know if you saw, like, oh my god, man, I think you can't even count the amount of times I've like choked it.
And I just know, by the way, that after I break the wall, I can just get more.
Yeah,
that's how it goes.
Yeah, it's always like that. You break the wall and you just get a fuck ton afterwards, which is stupid. Like, you don't feel that pressure, if you know what I mean. Which is
yeah, I just know that that's a thing. I like, after I get my first 700, it's just going to flow in. I don't think I'm gonna go crazy or anything. Maybe we'll see, but I can definitely get more than one. That's for sure.
But yeah, let's go back to the content creation sides of things. But let's talk about a bit more generalized stuff. So, what's your opinion on the current state of Osu content creation? What do you think of it?
I haven't really been following things all that much, so I'm not the best person to ask this to. I don't really watch Osu content in my free time. I recently watched a great video from Pepper Crab. Shout out to Pepper Crab, who made a fantastic video about McDonald's, and I thought that was very good.
Yeah, that's such an amazing video. Go watch it, by the way, if you haven't. I'll leave a link in the
It's a
description
great
of
video.
this video as well. So yeah.
Yeah, so that was great. But other than that, there's kind of few people pushing the envelope. I mean, there's Willy, who makes always very good videos. He recently made that Emmerich documentary, which I thought was
Yeah,
a banger. John Porler makes very good videos. I think he's probably the one with the most potential and skills as far as video editing goes, and just storytelling, I guess, with his videos.
true.
I don't really.
He did have like a video recently blow up though. The one with the tournament, if you know what I mean.
Which tournament?
Uh, it was BTMC's tournament, the $10,000 one.
Oh yeah, yeah. Your mic is going in and out, but I think
Yeah,
it's the
bruh.
round table then.
Yeah, the round table open.
Yeah, no, I think he. Again, I don't think I'm really the target audience necessarily, because I remember when I watched some of his earlier videos, it was all very flashy, almost Mr. Beast style. Like, my attention span is intact. I don't need any of that, but I just know he makes good content, and he has Ed's blessing, so he's surely going to do great. And I think what makes him the most interesting is that he also um, tries to be involved, let's say, in IRL events too.
Yeah.
He's going to be at COE for one, so I'm sure he's going to be making a vlog, and it's probably going to be the best edited COE related video. Maybe he's even cooking up some events there.
That's going to be so freaking insane though, because like I did not expect that he was going. Like I did not expect that he was going to go to COE, which is funny.
Yeah, it's lots of people there. Maybe we can talk about this later, but
Oh,
yeah, so
definitely.
yeah,
I came prepared, dude. Don't worry.
yeah. But to give you a short answer, no, I don't really follow the also scene. I only know very few of the people making content, and so I don't think I can really speak on the scene, if so to speak. But I'm under the impression that it's kind of very low key at the moment. Like, there's very few people uploading consistently. It's all
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
passive in a sense.
Yeah, very passive, very mushy. I don't know what the hell is mushy. What the hell am I saying? But yeah, basically, there's currently not a lot of people, and I mean there is still room. I guess this could be a good thing because there is room now for like upcoming content creators to show themselves off. Whether it be like certain ideas that are currently not active in the scene. So yeah, what do you think of that, baby?
You think right now is a good time for upcoming content creators to shine?
Yeah, yeah, because like as you can see, like the most popular ones aren't like as active, if you know what I mean. So there's still room to show off.
I'm not too sure because it's very hard to, I think, really shine through because there is it's weird because the also scene is inactive but also saturated at the same time.
Oh yeah, yeah, true.
So it's a bit complicated. On paper it is easy, but in practice it almost seems to me like we are back to when Osu was a niche, like very small niche on YouTube. Whereas during COVID, I felt like we were going somewhere bigger.
Yeah, it's in a bit of a gray area to say the least, like the current Osu scene.
Yeah, yeah.
But are there any favorite content creators you would, name at the moment? Like active ones and previous ones that aren't as active maybe as now?
I don't really watch Osu content, so
Nah,
I mean, I mentioned John Porler just because he's the one that sticks out because he's a bit
Yeah.
more original and high production value. But other than that, I mean, obviously the bigger content creators are cool, like Zudi and BTMC.
Yeah.
But no, I really nothing comes to mind. I mean, obviously there's you. You
Do
are
not
one of
do
the
not mention me, bro. I'm out of
you
the
are one
topic.
of the most active ones.
Okay, but
making content.
do not mention me, bro.
Okay, sure, I guess, but yeah. No, nothing really comes to mind. I mean, I don't really follow many creators. I just watch videos and Some videos are good, some are bad. Like the one for Pepper Crab was very good. So
Yeah.
if I have to shout out a new up and coming guy, that would probably be the guy. Pepper
Okay.
Crab. Subscribe, like and subscribe. Go.
Like, share, subscribe. Shout out to Pepper Crab.
Yes.
uh. Oh yeah, this is also an interesting question. So, out of all the content creators that have went and have shown on the scene and went, what are some that you wished are like still being active in the community? You know what I mean? Like they're still uploading to this day.
Tokaku,
Okay.
definitely. She's very cool. I don't know if she will listen to this, but shout out to her, by the way. Very cool content creator and person.
Shout out to Kaku.
Yeah. She made some real bangers. Not necessarily. I don't even care about. She doesn't have to make Osu videos, dude. Even just videos in general.
Just content, dude. Genuinely just content. Her content is so creative and just enjoyable.
Yeah, no, she's very good at what she does. But Beamfy comes to mind because I mean, just the whole situation with him. Obviously, there has been a lot of tough things going on.
Yeah, he has went through a lot, to say the least. He made a video recently as well explaining like other shit. So
yeah, no, there's been a lot going on. But again, I think Beamfy was honestly wasted for also like wasted talent. Is is much better. Is much better when he does just gaming in general because you can really tell that he loves it. Not that he doesn't enjoy Osu, of course, but I just see him as a general big streamer guy potentially, not really an Osu content guy.
Yeah, I do know what you mean. I do what you mean.
Yeah. I don't know who else really. Who else can come to my mind? Osu stuff, Osu content. Yeah, no, I can only think of those guys for now. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, fair, honestly. Let's.
Because, by the way, because everybody else that I know and I'm thinking of is not really inactive. Like they just don't upload as often. So it's like, but there are reasons for it. Like even myself.
Yeah, know? Of course. I mean, yeah, you're still kind of active, but just don't upload as much because you're busy with other stuff.
Yeah.
And also that the videos themselves take time. So yeah. Okay, so let's get into probably one of the more interesting topics and maybe something that people have been waiting for. So, Wooting, to say the least.
Yes.
You recently announced that you trigger warning got a job at Wooting. Trigger warning, yeah. But people do wonder how the whole thing got into just happened in general. So how did your relationship with Wooting even start, as a company, as the people there, and just the connection, you know what I mean? So how did it all start?
Okay, so before we start this part of the interview, I just want to specify that this is not going to be some type of advertisement. Oh yes, they are the best keyboards out there, buy them. I've been glazing Wooting keyboards for years, way before I got hired. So there's none of that going on, okay? Just be aware. But basically, the way that my relationship with Wooting started is I saw that tweet from Apollo who was talking about how speed players were hiding this secret keyboard that would allow you to unlock your speed, which I obviously thought was bullshit. But I looked into it and I thought it was actually quite an interesting piece of technology. This was around the time the 68G came out. So what I did was I sent an email to Wooting and I just asked, hey, I'm a content creator and also top player. I would love to test your keyboard out if I could have a sample. Back then they weren't shipping them because they were out of stock, still in production. So I just shot my shot to see what would happen, and next thing you know, they see my email, they see my channel, and they like what they're seeing, so they just send me the keyboard. So obviously I try the keyboard and it's pretty awesome. Again, not an advertisement, but it was genuinely, to me, the best keyboard I had tried up until that point, at least as far as pre-built keyboards go.
Even if you watch the video, the review, you can tell.
Yeah, you can go back and check my review from years ago. So yeah, like there's no conflict of interest here, but yeah, so I really enjoyed that keyboard, and honestly I was also kind of intrigued by the whole concept of that company, because it's the first company where I could actually send a message to the CEO and he would straight up reply.
Yeah.
And like I could talk to people in staff, people working for this company, and they would actually again respond to what I was saying and answer my questions if I had some doubts about some of the technology. They would actually be very open with their communication. They had an actual active Discord community.
That is really how should I say, underrated aspect of Wooting that not a lot of people sometimes talk about. It's the fact that they're really open to discussion and everything, like regarding their products, which I honestly really respect. Like being, that open to the audience.
It's a very underestimated aspect of many companies, especially in the keyboard space.
True.
I would say. So that was very intriguing to me, and I was very genuinely impressed because it was a very small company back then. I believe when I got my keyboard, there were maybe 8 people working at Wooting in total,
which is really small. If like confidence.
Recently, so I don't know if you're familiar with Bad Seed Tech.
Yeah, I do know him. Yeah.
So we were in Taipei for Computex at Wooting, and Bad Seed Tech was there, and so he made a whole podcast with Calder, who is the Wooting CEO. And in that podcast, which is about, I think, 2 hours long, Calder basically gives the whole story of how Wooting was born and how it came to be. And it's very crazy to listen to that because for many years, Wooting was just 5 people.
Yeah, which is like wild, like genuinely wild.
And so, oh man, I mean, just looking back at those things, knowing the position the company was in back when I approached them, it's kind of crazy because, again, it was all so small and so uncertain because it was a shot in the dark. It could have gone completely wrong. There was like loans on the line because obviously there was very limited budget. So it's just very crazy. So I recommend watching that video if you want to know the history of Wooting. It's a very good video, but nonetheless, I get the keyboard, I do the review, very positive. I keep my contact with them. Around the time COE happens, I want to interview them because they're gonna have a stand at COE, so I just send them an email. Yeah, so what I do, and again, this is one of those things that really made me think, wow, this company is something. So I send an email and I say, hey, I'm coming to the Netherlands for COE. I know you guys will have a stand there. I would like to make a fun video with you guys. Maybe come to your offices and just, make some content, right? And that's when I came to learn that Wooting doesn't actually have a main office. It's all remote.
Yeah.
So believe it or not, Calder, who is the CEO of Wooting, actually let me go inside his home.
So that was his actual house? Oh shit.
Yes, he let me inside his home as a relatively small, very niche content creator, which I thought was super impressive because I was the very first guy to ever do it, and it really showed that he was very open to just collaborating. Like, it wasn't one of those, like, imagine me going to Razer's CEO saying, hey, can I have an interview with you, Mr. Like 40k subscribers YouTube channel?
Yeah, which is like,
ain't no way.
You think about it, genuinely wild, like really impressive.
Yeah. So again, just the fact that he was willing to make jokes on camera with me. I made a bunch of jokes in that video. I pulled out some Osu memes and asked them to rate them.
Yeah.
That's also when I met Sander, who is now my colleague. He's the main Wooting content creator for
Yeah.
the YouTube channel. The blonde guy, you probably know him if
Yeah,
you
yeah.
watched. So it was all a very cool experience, and it just solidified it in my mind. Wow, this company is actually genuine. Like, they are actually just gamers who wanted to make a cool keyboard because they were tired of the keyboard landscape that was going on at the time. So
True.
yeah, that was very cool. And then next thing you know, I asked them if they can help with the also list week, and they accept. Then I'm one of the first people to ever receive a Wooting 88G for review. I mean, we had a very good relationship throughout the years, and so obviously, after I finished my year of streaming, as I mentioned in my latest video, um, I was looking for work because I wanted something a bit more stable, and I saw the opportunity, and obviously I went for it straight away.
So, dude, how the hell did you manage to answer all of the 3 questions I was going to ask you by just naming the first one, dude?
Hey,
Actually,
what do you
it's-
know? What do you know, man?
Yeah, you literally predicted all of the questions, man. So what I was gonna ask you, what were your first initial thoughts of Wooting, which you already answered,
Sorry,
kinda.
your mic is going in and out.
Bruh, hold up. Discord is so freaking annoying, dude.
Come again?
Discord, fix your noise suppression. I think that's better now.
Okay, okay.
But yeah, what I wanted to ask is, I mean, not ask, but my questions were going to be like, I just said, how did your relationship with Wooting start? And you also
Yeah.
managed to answer what were your first initial thoughts of Wooting, and also
Okay.
how did you come up with the idea to apply to work for them? Which is what the hell, bro. But
Well,
yeah.
okay, I can elaborate a bit on the last one.
Yeah, you can elaborate on that one, to be honest. Yeah, feel free to.
So funnily enough, I was looking at the job listings available on the Wooting website, and the only one that I was qualified for was customer service. So originally I was thinking, okay, I really want to work for Wooting, so let me just apply for customer service. But then what happened is, and mind you, this was right after the also list week, so I was already in talks with Wooting people.
Yeah.
What happened was, I saw this live stream which was linked to me. Shout out to Heidi for that one. You know who you are. And in this live stream, because if you don't know, Wooting people, like, you know, sometimes it's Eric, one of the co-founders. Many times it's Sander. Every 2 weeks we have a live stream on the Wooting channel where we just answer questions.
Yeah.
So around that time, there had been a live stream with the two co-founders, Eric and Calder, and it was a 1 hour stream, completely random stream, like no particular events going on, no product announcements or anything, and it had like maybe 2,000 views or something, the actual VOD. So I go to this timestamp, which is near the end, and Eric mentions that they are looking for more content creators, especially in regards to shorts. And Calder said, yeah, we are looking for that. You know, if you are from the Netherlands or Germany, apply and whatnot. But they were talking about how soon enough they would put up the actual job listing on LinkedIn as well as on their website, because they have a page for those things. But immediately after I heard that, I immediately thought, okay, I am sending my curriculum right now. Because if this listing goes out, I mean, I'm pretty sure I would have gotten it anyway, because obviously I had everything that it took, including the passion for keyboards. They really value
the
those
skills,
things, like
you know, previous experience and just everything.
yeah. It's not all about experience and statistics and things like that. It's really about the person and your attitude and you know, everything that you show in the interview, right? So because I already worked with them, they know that I'm a passionate guy, that I care about what I do. And also, believe it or not, in my resume, I cited my relationship with COE because
Yo,
I'm
yeah.
part of the COE staff and also an affiliate, and I effectively helped run the event in some way or the other. And they really liked that more than anything else in my resume, because it just went to show that I was very, again, passionate about bringing the community together more
Yeah,
than
I
just.
mean, that's in general something that, for like job interviews and stuff like that, they look for. Like, basically list everything you've experienced. Because you never know. Maybe that one small detail could be the thing that gets you the job. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
so I sent my resume, and it was a very, like, I think it was about 2 months more or less of like waiting for my interview, because obviously uh, when you apply for jobs, it's not like you send your resume and then the next day you get an answer. It's
Nah.
you always have to wait a bit. So
Which is
I
why
had to
you
wait.
said, yeah, which is why you said it's a stupid idea that you only sent to one company for like apply for jobs.
Yes, yes. In case you guys don't know, if you haven't watched my last video, I've only sent one resume to Wooting, and that was it. I didn't send anything else. I didn't have a plan B or anything. Uh, I hadn't sent anything else. So just imagine the pressure that I had. I was still streaming at the time. Every day I would check my emails constantly, seeing if I had received an answer. So a couple weeks go by, and I'm thinking, ah, man, my resume probably sucks. I tried, man. At least I tried. But then eventually they responded, and then next thing you know, we scheduled the interview. We do the interview, and then back and forth after back and forth, I eventually get the position.
Yeah, which is honestly really awesome. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, just in general, well done, dude. Like, you absolutely deserve that.
Hey, thank you, man. Thank you so much.
But yeah, I mean, you did mention that you didn't have any backup plan, but d- did you have a backup plan in case that didn't work out?
Well, obviously, I wasn't gonna be homeless.
I mean, obviously, yeah, but like,
I've, my again, my thing is I want to work because I love work. I mean, I've always worked, but I
yeah,
want to work doing things that I like. Okay,
yeah, really
and what
important.
I like more than anything else is creating content, creating things, videos, entertainment, informative content, however you want to define it. I just like to create things.
Yeah,
So obviously, this Wooting job was the one that I shot for because it was a combination of pretty much everything that I've always liked, from video editing to social media to specifically keyboards to also the general philosophy of the company. It's something that I can relate to: quality over quantity, and being genuine, and just caring about what you provide to
yeah,
people. Um, but if I hadn't gotten that position, I mean, I would have applied to other creative positions, not necessarily in the keyboard space, just in general.
yeah.
So,
S-
because I have some experience, I worked on some movie and TV sets, which is very tough, but also quite unstable. Like, okay, you do a set, you get paid quite a bit, but it's not something that you do every single day. It's like very intense 12-hour shifts for like 1 month or two, and then it's back to searching for the next thing. I just didn't think that was a very reliable path. um, I could have probably shot for some TV related, like TV production job, but again, the thing about that is I knew it will be stable, but I also knew it will be extremely boring because I hate TV. I don't watch TV. I've never watched TV. So I just want to, you know,
yeah.
work on the internet because that's what I'm familiar with. So reasonably, I probably could have worked for some media company, and that would have been it as a video maker or editor.
Yeah, so it would still be like around this area of like, this how should I say, industry.
Yeah, I definitely would have stayed in the creative industry for sure.
Yeah, okay. So how has it been so far working for them? So is it as fulfilling as content creation in general that you did previously? Streaming and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Again, again, I really don't want this to come off as some type of advertisement, but I can't help but be honest and say that I've been having a fantastic time. I mean, as I said, the team is a team full of passionate people. It's not one of those companies that just drags on, and maybe they are too big to fail, or anything. Like we really, like to push the envelope and talk to one another. There's very clear communication,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's been very great. It's been awesome, and I'm very thankful for the opportunity, and I'm doing my best to create the best content that I can, and I'm feeling very fulfilled. Maybe even too much. Because the thing is, I haven't really made another YouTube video,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
and
say, dude. Like, what the?
and I
Look
basically
it.
like I basically stopped streaming too, not because I don't have time. Let's make that very clear. I it's basically like I work a certain set of hours each day, and then after that I'm completely free. Like there's no
Yeah,
real problem with that. Like if I wanted to, I could still stream every day. It's just that I haven't really felt that um I guess
need.
motivation to do it
Yeah,
as
need
of
and
now.
motivation. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So hopefully this Aireu challenge will bring forward some more gameplay only streams.
Yeah, that would
Um,
definitely be interesting. You can do like a series or something like that. Road to 700 or some shit like that.
yeah, yeah. I was honestly I when I got the position, I was thinking that probably because now creating videos is my job and it's something that I do day to day.
hmm
After I'm done with work, I don't really want to do it again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I completely
So
get it.
it's the whole reason I started making YouTube videos is because I wanted to have a creative outlet, because it's something that I felt deep inside. Like I need to create things, I need to do things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So now that I get to do that, and also have it as my career, I found that now I spend my free time in different ways, not necessarily like thinking of making the next YouTube video on my channel.
Hmm. Interesting.
So yeah, very fulfilling creatively for sure.
Okay, so that's honestly really good. I'm really happy that it's the work your work is pretty much fulfilling what you were looking for.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
let's keep this question short. But are you excited for the release of the Wooting 60HE V2 version? Because I think I noticed that you have it, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that.
Well,
You know,
I
you're
can't really be excited about it because I already know everything. So
well
let's.
excited.
I mean, I'm excited in terms of how the community's reaction is going to be, the general
Yeah,
reception from customers. But
yeah, that's what I meant.
uh,
That's what I meant.
yeah, obviously I am. I mean, you can't not be,
Yeah, of
right?
course, of course.
But yeah, I already know everything, and obviously I'm working to make it so the release is going to be as good as it gets. So yeah, pretty
Yeah,
exciting stuff.
that's gonna be interesting. Also, a freaking Mini dude, Mini just commented in the chat saying, "Living drunk dear ad banner versus Wooting employee, bro. Get this
Oh,
shit out
oh,
of here."
cut, cut.
Cut. But yeah, it's such a fucking funny comment. But yeah, I just let you talk your stuff because like what the hell, that threw me off so much.
That's funny, man.
Yeah, but let's move on to something else. So you have been into a decent amount of also Lan events.
Yes.
So which one out of the ones you've experienced so far is your favorite one?
Hmm. Well,
Actually, wait, before you answer that, I can also say, like, I mean, we can combine this question. which one has been like your absolute favorite, and also share like a favorite moment from each one of those events, if you know what I mean.
Okay, so when you talk about also Lan events, I suppose that you're also including COE into the equation.
Yeah, of course, of course. So COE, Epic Clan, Kel 3, basically
Yeah,
those.
so I've been in the past year especially. I went to Poland for Kel3, which was the Polish LAN event, and also, as you said, Epic LAN, which was in the UK. And both of these events were great for different reasons. I had a great time. But COE is kind of a category on its own because obviously no LAN event can ever compete. Like, even if I were to go to the original round table, I still don't think that will be as great as my first ever COE. I mean, these are
Yeah.
memories that will never be uh, able to happen again. So let's divide them, okay? In terms of my best favorite Osulen, uh, again, straight up excluding COE, I think I enjoyed the one in Poland a bit more. Nothing wrong with the UK one, but the Polish one I felt was a bit more like fun because I mean Polish people, the Polish community, I've always had a very good relationship with them. So seeing them in person, joking around,
Yeah,
drinking,
yeah.
and everything, I mean it's been fantastic. So I think that's probably my favorite one. But um, in terms of COE, oh man, I mean probably one of my favorite moments. Sorry, what was the question again? Like my favorite of all time, and then my favorite moment.
Like favorite also LAN events of all time, and then I don't know, favorite moment from each one of them.
Okay, so favorite Osolen of all time, I will have to say COE 2019.
Okay, yeah.
And the reason for it is because the very first COE, it was in 2018, and it was very special, obviously, and it still holds a special place in my heart, but it was undoubtedly a bit scuffed because it was the very first international edition. We were sleeping in what is basically a closet. Uh, and it was near the whole building where setups were at was basically a gym.
What?
Again, it was a bit scuffed, but it was super fun also because of that, and it was probably the most goated in terms of food because there was this place open inside the venue which was open 24/7. So I
Jesus.
could straight up just go up to the counter at 3 a.m., ask for a cheeseburger and fries, and get them.
Damn.
So it was a bit crazy in that regard. But the reason I prefer the 2019 edition is because it was the very first OSU event that was hosted in Brabant Hallen, which is where the event is hosted today too.
Yep.
And it was, I think, the very first time that a lot more players showed up because obviously they had seen screenshots, videos, video compilations,
Yep.
streams from COE 2018. They saw how fun it was going to be, and so imagine having that same friendly vibe, but in a much bigger venue. I mean, it was really great.
It was genuinely huge though. Like there's loads of like compilations from that specific year as well, like Sotarks, Cookiesy, like BTMC, The Poon, loads of players being there and streaming as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, and you also have to take into account that 2019 is also when I peaked in terms of
Yeah,
also
yeah.
skills. So me going there, I was like content creator and top player. So I was just hanging around with
Yeah,
everybody,
yeah.
and even though I didn't really um like if we compare COE 2019 to COE 2024, it's not even close. Like COE 2024, I signed double the amount of tablets,
Oh,
double the amount of
yeah.
shirts. Like I'm way more popular now than I was back then, but there
True.
was something about that vibe that just hit differently.
To be fair,
So,
I think this year it has like the potential to also be really huge, if you know what I mean. Loads of people are going. Same with players, dude. Like,
oh yeah, no, this year is gonna be great.
yeah, this year is
You should
definitely gonna be great.
Anybody who's on the fence should definitely come this time because you're gonna witness some great things. But
Exactly.
yeah, so COE 2019, my favorite of all time. Best moment, it's, I think, two that come to mind.
Okay.
So the first one is more of a event thing, and the second one is more personal. So
Let's go with the event thing first.
so the event one was the COE 2019 Grand Finals. On stage, Cookiezi versus Idki
Damn.
Grand Finals.
Mm-hmm.
So again, this is going to be very hard to explain to people. Like you had to be there. You had to be there years prior to see the whole narrative of this match. It was basically like the old gen god, the face of Osu, the player who represents everything about the game, Cookiezi, versus the upcoming new guy who had pushed all the limits of what was thought possible with hard rock and especially consistency in tourney. Like Idki was the best tournament player at the time. It was between him and Bubbleman, and there was the winner finals, which was Bubbleman versus Idki, which ended on a tiebreaker. I mean, just everything about that tourney was fantastic.
Yeah.
So, and like seeing Cookiezi perform the way that he did, he ended up losing the match in the end, but some of the scores that he set that day were just unbelievable. I mean, I remember there was this one map, which I can't really remember the name of, but it's Van Gogh in the background.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys are familiar with that map, it's like a techie...
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, like finger control map, however you wanna define it.
Yeah.
And I think Cookiezi nearly FC'd that on free mod with HDHR back when there was no FC.
Damn.
So it was like me seeing that live, the Cookiezi magic in front of my eyes, my heart was racing. It was insane.
Jesus Christ.
That was the best moment at the event in terms of tourney. The best personal moment, it was when I went to Rafis's B&B. Again, we were like friends at the time already, but it was that time I think we got a lot closer, and I still talk to Raffle, and he's a fantastic guy. I mean, we all know that. Even outside of Osu gameplay, he's just a very good guy, very good person, and same goes for Emily, his girlfriend. So back then, I got into his B&B, right? And we basically decided to cook together, and we made this risotto together.
Oh shit.
Which was super funny. I mean, it was great. I remember I was like the Italian chef. I had the whole get-up, and me and Emily were like giving orders, like cut the onions, I take care of the rice, I do this, I do that, and then we made that risotto, which was very good. My only regret is that it was a bit bland, maybe a touch more salt, but whatever. Like we put parmesan on it and it was fine. But...
Doesn't matter. The risotto was the friends we made all along the way.
yeah, it was a mushroom risotto to be exact.
Yeah.
And the one thing is, in that B&B it was us, and then there was Cookiezi. So I made risotto for Cookiezi.
Holy shit, bro! Made food for his idol. Crazy.
Yes, and he loved it. So shout out to Shige for that one too. But I mean, I think there's something very personal about cooking for someone. I mean, I always, because I don't really cook all that much in my daily life, because obviously work and a bunch of reasons. I want to get back into that, but I think it's a lot more special when you make food for other people and you see their reactions. It's almost like a labor of love. So every time I, for example, cook a dish for my girlfriend, I really put all my love into it. And back then it was a collaborative effort, and just seeing everybody being so happy with the food we had made, very heartwarming stuff that really stuck out to me. So that was probably the best moment, just seeing everybody so happy and talking and making jokes. And just having this experience together.
Yeah, honestly, sounds like a really fun time. But god damn it, if only I could experience shit like that. SMH. I mean, to be
If only
fair,
you could be there, you said?
yeah, type shit, yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
But to be fair, I think I found out about the game like around that time. I mean, I did make an account like October 2019, but I actively played around summer of 2019.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so like there wasn't even a chance, you know what I mean? And yet alone my content creation journey as well. So
Yeah, I mean, again, considering you had just started and you were also much younger, it was probably not feasible to even get a flight to
Yeah.
the Netherlands. I mean, just a
yeah,
bunch of things.
exactly. I mean, I was like 15, 16 back then. Absolutely
Yeah,
wild.
yeah.
So yeah. What about Epic Lan and Kill 3?
They were great, but obviously much smaller scale and much shorter than COE.
Yeah.
The Epic Land kind of came out of nowhere. It was a bit of a sudden choice. I just, because I knew it was happening, right?
Yep.
But I thought, yeah, no way I'm doing that, you know, like, I don't know, man, I have to. I was also in my transitional phase where I didn't know if I should continue streaming or look for a job, like I was in the resume preparing stage.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I was like, oh no, man, I'm all over the place right now. I don't think I can just hop on a flight and see what's up. But then I saw that I did the interview, like things were looking good. And I think right around that time, I actually got the job offer email, like officially announcing that they were interested.
Mm-hmm.
And so at that point, I'm like, holy shit, really? So I wanted to celebrate some way or the other. And so I just, I contacted Babbleman and I'm like, yo, is it true that in 2 days, or 2 or 3 days, there's going to be this LAN event? And it's like, yeah. So I'm like, can I come? And he's like, oh shit, well, yeah, you can still get a ticket. So I immediately get a ticket. We look for flights together. I take the very first most budget flight of all time, no luggage, and I just go.
Yeah, that's honestly that sounds like a wild experience to say the least. Just
Yeah, it's
out of nowhere.
I knew, like, my main problem was the accommodation. So originally I was supposed to get a B&B with Raj, Mahmood, Malteser, like all those people from the UK community. But then I got this very huge stroke of luck. Shiba, the Osu caster, if you know him, shout out to Shiba, by the way. He had a hotel room that he was looking to share with somebody, and so I just immediately hopped on and we just ran with it, and it was great. I mean, it's in the vlog, so you know.
Yeah, you can see your entire experience basically.
Yeah, also, just a quick correction. I think I mixed up the timelines a bit. I knew that I had the job almost at KL3, which was a few months later. Around the time of Epic LAN, it was in the air. Like, I kind of knew it was a thing, but I didn't really, like, know much, okay? That's it. So I confused the two, but I still decided to hop on the UK flight just because I felt like I needed a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, fair, honestly. Yeah, for Kill 3, I think you pretty much said what was your favorite moment. Just chilling with the Polish community and just having fun, drinking, and
yeah, having
everything.
fun with the Polish community, going to restaurants, trying Polish cuisine with Rafis, Babbleman. I mean, Dan, who is Babbleman, just a very cool guy, just talking about life, just things like that. We were sharing a room together, so again, just great times. But if I okay, that's very generic. If I have to come up with a specific moment, I think my favorite moment was on the last night because I didn't sleep.
Oh,
because
shit.
my train was very early to go to the airport, so it was me, Dan, James, Shiba, Mahmood, Emily, Rafis, Fancy Lad, all in a hotel room,
Jesus.
just talking, just like we had bought drinks, we had some snacks.
Yeah.
Like we were on the bed just scrolling through the hotel TV and there was a bunch of weird shit going on there. Like there was this very strange program which was like a German kids
What?
show where there was this, oh man, again, this would be, you would know about it if I only actually edited my Kel-free vlog. Which one day I will, but
You do have the footage, right? You do have the footage.
yeah, I do have a lot of footage.
Then
So
it start cooking, brother in Christ. Oh my god.
yeah, man, I'm very behind, way behind. But no, again, I think it's as exciting as these events are. The best moments are always those very human moments where you just connect with other people and oh, they're calling you.
Yeah, a friend of mine, dude. What the hell? It's
But
fine.
yeah, no, it's those moments, the very simple moments where you're just sharing a laugh or talking about the future and just having a good time with people. Those are the most valuable moments in events
Yeah,
like
of
this.
course, dude. I mean, we're human at the end of the day, and we'll always remember those, personal, cool moments that happen throughout life.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's go on to like the final two things, final two questions basically. So, will you be going to COE 2025? Which I think you already confirmed.
Well, yes, it is 100% confirmed. In fact, I'm on the attendees list, and I've been encouraging everybody to come. Not only because, I mean, obviously, okay, whatever, use code Spazza at checkout. We don't get a cut. I wish we did. So there's no money incentive there,
Yeah.
but it's just that I really want people to come to the event. So yeah, I will be there, of course. So I'm there all week, July 28th to August 3rd. I highly recommend everybody comes because it's going to be great. Not just for the human side of it, but also like some things that we're cooking up for stage events. Oh boy, let me tell you, it's
Yeah,
worth it.
Get prepared. Also, I'll be there as well. So if you want to meet me, be sure to go there.
Yeah.
And final thing to say, do you just want to say anything else to the audience? Something you've been preparing or something to stay tuned for?
Not really. I haven't prepared much. I guess sorry because I'm not really doing anything. Like again, I'm not really streaming. I'm not really making content on my own channels anymore.
You better prepare that apology video with a ukulele, bro.
But I don't really feel any particular like I'm not, again, I just want to specify that was a joke. I don't actually feel guilty about it because my viewers have been nothing but supportive. They know that obviously I'm working now, I'm doing something that I enjoy, and in fact, if you go on the Wooting channel, you'll see a lot of comments whenever I show up. There's guaranteed at least 5 comments saying when you Spazza it. So yeah. I know for a fact you guys are watching, and I like that you guys are appreciating what I do, so I'm very happy with that. Hopefully, as time goes on and I organize everything in my schedule, I can at least come back to streaming just Osu gameplay like I did back in the day, because otherwise Aireu is gonna have a bad time.
He might be cooked.
He might be cooked.
We'll see though, we'll see. But yeah, anyways, that has been episode 9 of B Talk Podcast. Again, Spazza, thank you for coming, dude, and sharing your story with us.
Thank you for having me on.
Hey, no problem, dude. Maybe we'll have like a future episode for some different topics. We'll see. There's always a lot of opportunities and room to do a lot of stuff with the podcast. Hopefully I'll do them more common, but I can't promise. I can't promise that I can do them frequently, so yeah.
Yeah, man, you know, the Kel-free vlog coming soon, also Megamix 2 coming soon, trust me, soon trademark, Clueless.
Soon TM, yeah. But yeah, We'll see you in the next episode of Beat Talk Podcast, or maybe the next video. We'll see.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Oh, or well, I should say.
Wait, before we get, what did you want to say something else again, or?
Have a good one, guys.